Hey everyone, how you doing? I hope you're keeping it positive. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're okay. I hope you're keeping it moving. I know it's tough out there, but we got a little bit of a conversation. Hopefully that'll bring some brightness to your day. Our friends at PayPal have been doing these conversations over the past couple weeks, and I'm really proud and honored to be hosting the third installment of the Adaptables. And you know, as the host, I get to bring on a guest, and I'm going to go all the way out to the ATL in Atlanta, and I'm going to introduce you to Cam Kirk Kirkland. This gentleman is incredible. So let me see where he's at. Where you at, Cam? Um, if you don't know about Cam Kirk, he has created a studio which is a safe haven for creatives out in Atlanta. Um, you know that that allow access to equipment, to studio space, to cameras, to being able to express yourself. And Cam is an incredible photographer as well. So let me see where he's at. Where you at, Cam? This is cool, man. This fun. There you are.
All right,
What
there we go.
up?
There we go.
What up, man? We got
Yeah,
it.
how's it going?
We got it, man. We live. We live
Yeah,
and direct. Good to
we
see
was
you,
gonna
Cam.
figure it out.
I've been hyping you up to this immense, amazing crowd here.
Oh man, I appreciate it. Appreciate you having me on your platform, man.
Oh man, this is your platform. Today is all about you. We all want to learn about who you are, what the pandemic has been, what it's like there in the city of Atlanta, and especially what you do for community. So I just want to put that out front first. Um, so I gave the viewers a little bit of a background of who you are and the good things that you do, not only professionally but also personally as an artist. Um, can you tell me about photography and how you started?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Prince George's County, Maryland. It's a city right outside of Washington, D.C.
Hmm.
So growing up there, my dad was actually a photographer. So my dad's been a photographer for 35 years. So I
Okay.
guess the roots of me getting into photography extend that far. You know, from the beginning of my life, every house I lived in had a photography studio built into the basement. So I guess my foundation will have to kind of start there. But it wasn't until I moved to Atlanta in
Hmm.
2007 to attend Morehouse College that I actually was kind of reintroduced to photography through just my journey in Atlanta, which in 2010 led me to buying my first camera, and then
Mm.
kind of like the rest is history of what I was able to do with it.
That's what's up. You got a little shout out from Maryland,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
so you
Pinkey
know.
County,
Okay.
what's up? What's up?
What was it like moving from a photographer, an artist, someone developing your eye to now a business owner? Because sometimes the transition from a creative person to have to be a business owner can be a struggle sometimes. But what was it like for you?
Most definitely, it's an everyday learning process for myself. Photography specifically can be a one-man show at times. It's
Yeah.
you, your camera, and your subject. It doesn't necessarily require a big team, depending on the type of set you're working on. So,
Hmm.
to then have to translate that and translate your vision to other people and get other people to see what's in your head, um, and communicate that properly is definitely a struggle at times. You know, people management,
Hmm.
all of that is a struggle. And it's something that I pride myself on learning and getting better at every single day that I come into work as I deal with my employees
Hmm.
every day. But it's a journey for sure. And it's one that I hope I never get tired of. And I hope
Yeah.
one that, I continue to evolve with for sure.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Because we don't get an instruction manual as
Oh,
entrepreneurs.
no, none.
That transition happens in real time,
Yes,
and
for sure.
sometimes you make mistakes, but as you grow, you learn from those, and they become a part of the fabric of who you are.
Yeah.
I know
And
me as well, transitioning from a chef or just a cook or a creative person into managing. I stumbled at the beginning because in the beginning you think it's a little bit about your ego, about yourself. Sometimes you can, in the pursuit of perfection, you can blow up, or you can say things the wrong way or do the wrong things, and you don't know how to lead with compassion sometimes from the beginning. And I learned that very quickly, and that's become a style that I really believe in, which is compassion and love. You can love and be kind and still get the job done. You know,
Yeah,
I mean
most definitely.
that's what it's about. So the inspiration for Cam Kirk Studios. Can you tell me about it and why Atlanta for Cam Kirk?
Well, Atlanta was, for me, moving here at 18 years old, I was still a baby. You know, I was still
Hmm.
fresh. And Atlanta is a city that embraced me and kind of exposed me to the adult version of who I am today. And in certain ways, really shaped the way I approach life. Growing up in PG County, it can be a suburb city, and it's very sheltered. I grew up in like Catholic schools and things of that
Okay,
nature. And it wasn't until I moved to Atlanta that I got to see so many other people of color that came from different walks of life,
for
different
sure.
backgrounds, and it really just opened my perspective up to be like, okay, everybody isn't one way. Everybody doesn't have to
Hmm.
go to a school, graduate, and go to a corporate job. Like there are people that are in Atlanta that are
Hmm.
making a living just off of their craft, their talent. And I
Hmm.
saw that and I was very inspired by that and I wanted to be a part of it. So that's why I decided to, plant my flag here in Atlanta and find ways to give back to the city for what it's done for me specifically. And the roots
Man,
of Cam Kirk Studios
yeah.
are, it just kind of stems from my career. Like you mentioned before, there's no blueprint. So even as a
Hmm.
photographer, you got to think I started photography in 2011, 2012. It's kind of pre this platform that we love right now and the platform we're on
Yeah.
now. I didn't have Instagram like that to just excel my work. So I was laying out my own blueprint of what it's like to be a photographer in this weird phase where technology
Hmm.
is almost here, but it's not quite there and you have to figure it
Yeah.
out. So for me, Cam Kirk Studios is an embodiment of all the resources I've
Yeah.
gained along the way, all the tools and things I've learned. I kind of took all that and poured it into a place that I wish I had coming up that is designed
Yeah.
to help you get from A to Z. And it's designed to be a true safe haven and a support system for other creatives who are, embarking on this journey or who are at the beginning stages of where I was. And at those beginning stages, you don't get a lot of encouragement, even from your family and friends. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't see the end, they don't know what you're doing. And one of the things that we try to do here is be that one friend, that one person in your corner that believes in that crazy idea that you're starting out with. And
Yeah.
that's what the studio is all about. And that's the foundation of it.
Man, that's a beautiful thing. You know, business is not just about the bottom line, the numbers, and sometimes just the belief and the inspiration is all it takes for someone to find their path. You know, because we're already inundated, especially in a lot of communities, we're already inundated with all the things we can't do and all the things that we're told are impossible. And to just have someone right there next to you that gives you access and the ability to do whatever it is, even if it's crazy and weird and whatever, is just amazing. And I echo your sentiments on Atlanta. I have a lot of connections to Atlanta. I actually lived there for 2 summers when I was younger,
Word,
and then
word.
I go back a lot. I got a lot of friends and homies there, and it's the most incredible city, you know, especially for entrepreneurship and
Yeah,
for what you had mentioned just earlier about intelligence is not measured just by education, just by someone's degrees. And there's so many smart people doing amazing things from all different angles in Atlanta. It's so inspiring out there. Um,
most definitely.
I just wanted to do a quick segue. I wanted to show a lot of my followers and stuff and people that know me know. I want to show them I got my notes here. I keep it
Yeah.
professional. You know, they don't see this side of me much, so to
Where
share
did you
with y'all.
stay in
Just like,
Atlanta? When you lived in Atlanta, where did you stay?
I was out in Tucker,
Okay.
Decatur. I
Okay.
was hanging out in Piedmont Park, that
Yeah,
little
yeah.
neighborhood, mid city right there. A lot of my friends moved back home because I'm here from LA. A lot of folks moved from the South out here to LA, and then when they got a little bit older, they ended up moving back to the South.
That.
You know, um,
Sure.
let's switch gears real quick to the pandemic, which a lot of us obviously are going through. It's a worldwide thing, and I didn't think we'd still be here in November. You know, when it was dropped on us. You know, it's tough. The thing is, this thing is taking a lot of lives. It's halting the lives that are still here, and it's invisible. So it's a lot. It's hard for us to factor into our brain in our daily
Yeah,
life.
definitely.
how's it affected your business? Because you thrive off of your business pre-pandemic thrives off of community and interaction and people. How has it changed or affected you?
Uh, like many people, the pandemic hit us like a ton of bricks. And
Yeah,
as you mentioned, I mean, you can't do a photo shoot without some key factors. You need
for
a
sure.
model, a photographer, possibly a makeup artist or stylist, a hairdresser, all these things. So being having to be socially distant, having to in some ways close. Like we had to close shop for 2 months, and it
Hmm.
was definitely one of the most difficult decisions I ever had to make because
Yeah.
my studio is not only a tool for me as a business, but we basically are a tool for other entrepreneurs and other businesses. So
Hmm.
pre-pandemic, we do an average of 400 plus appointments per month. So
Hmm.
that's 400 different photo shoots, creative thing, projects, all these things being
Wow.
created out of our space at once by multiple different entrepreneurs that depend
Yeah.
on this space to be able to continue to do what they do. So when we had to make the decision to close, it was tough because we knew we were not only shutting our doors, but we were shutting the door for possibly hundreds of other businesses and business owners at the
Hmm.
same time. But we knew we have a responsibility as a community space and a community leader to be, responsible and to put the health of others, above our bottom line. So we closed for about 2 months
Hmm.
until the city of Atlanta it's about maybe like 2 or 3 months. So the city of Atlanta started the reopening process here, and we were able to reopen faster than most cities due to our government's decision. So coming back post, the shutdown, we just really took into figuring out like what ways we can really connect with our audience more virtually, which ways that we can kind of expand the studio to give us more space to be able to still be socially distant, and just
Yeah.
figuring out ways to just continue to keep our community strong while still remaining open because we know so many other entrepreneurs and creative entrepreneurs depend on us to
Yeah.
be able to continue to be who they are.
That's amazing, man. Just want to take a quick time out, give a shout out to all the commenters and followers out there. We see you. I see you. I see all the hellos and highs and thumbs up. Love you. Um, there was a question that I caught in my eye as you were talking. Any advice for a young videographer just starting out? Just a quick little advice.
Quick advice, the easiest advice, my dad used to tell me this and I would ignore him, but learn the skill set first. Before you can turn it into an art form, learn the skill set. It'll
Oh,
actually make
hell
it
yeah.
easier for you to create your own style when you actually know what you're doing. Then you can know what to
Yeah.
manipulate, what not to manipulate, what to change. But first things first is this is a skill set, so learn the skill set first.
I say the same thing to young cooks that want to, that want to start their own thing right away,
Hmm.
or be stars right away. I'm like, yo, like you got to build muscle memory. You got to be able to have that knowledge within you.
Yeah,
It's like martial arts. You know what I mean? You got to be able to. It takes years to build this, so then that way it can flow. Another comment, y'all hiring?
yeah.
Yeah,
And we're always hiring, man.
you
It's
always
right,
hire. So
right
so
on our website, man. We're always
there you
looking for
go,
new
Cam Kirk
creatives
website.
to work.
The PayPal empowerment grant. How'd you find out about that? Tell me about that. That's the whole reason we're here. I always support. I always believe in supporting businesses that believe in us. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
we the
no
small
doubt,
fry. A lot of people just forget about us. So
no doubt. So obviously, like many business owners, when the pandemic hit, we're looking for all resources. I mean, we're looking for
hmm.
ways to get through this, and it was very dark. You didn't know what was to come, and so you just kind of set yourself up to be in the best position.
Yeah,
So the PayPal grant specifically, I believe, was shared with me from just a number of other friends within the community who just kind of knew, like, yo, business owner to business owner, here's some things that I'm getting into. Here's some things you should check out. And I can't remember which friend exactly sent it to me, but I had heard about it. I just didn't know when the application was actually available. And I remember when I got the email, I visited the website, filled it out, and just kind of sat back, fingers crossed, and just see what would happen. Because this game as an entrepreneur, man, it's so easy to kind of feel like you're in it by yourself, and a lot of times it can be discouraging because you find it hard to believe, a company like PayPal would even, care about your business in any
Yeah.
sense, or even want to look out for you, or will even see it.
Mhm.
So, it was a shot in the dark, and, I'm grateful that I did it. And it definitely opened
And it was a
me up
shot in the
to,
arm when she got it, right?
yeah, it worked. It worked. So,
Uh-huh.
it's one thing that I now tell other entrepreneurs is like, do it. The worst that can happen is nothing, but you never want to, miss these opportunities or take these things for granted, because there are some really good companies out there that believe in small businesses.
Yeah, man. I see that. You got to read between the lines. You got to look behind the cracks, in between the cracks. It's
Hmm.
all there for you as a young small business. Um, just think creatively. The world is there for you
Yeah,
if you don't defeat yourself. You just you gotta be creative. You gotta listen. You gotta hear and see what's out there. Let's see. Let's go back to the followers real quick. I see you, Alon Hall. Thank you for that. He's a top chef. Uh, but he's more than that. He's a great human being. Let me see. I see
we got a
y'all. Okay.
chef and a photographer here. A chef and a photographer. That's what's up.
Oh yeah. Um, yeah. Photography is a huge part of cooking now. Ever since social media,
Yeah.
we are almost joined at the hip together. Our fields and our expressions. Because a lot of jobs are created through food photography, chef,
Yep.
environment photography, restaurant interior design photography. But then a lot of chefs are able to speak to their community through photography, through creating a picture that people desire to eat that food and stuff like that.
Most definitely.
And so that's a perfect segue actually for community. Um, can you tell me about your community, the community of Atlanta, what Cam Kirk and everything that surrounds it within your community?
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta, as we touched on earlier, is truly the city of dream chasers.
Mhm.
It's funny. I always joke with my friends, like, you never see no one in Atlanta wearing a suit. Like, you just never go.
Yeah,
There's no place you go
yeah,
and you just see they're at work, or that's our downtown and people are going
yeah.
to work. It's very fascinating to me. Even some of our events that happen in Atlanta are like midday, like, in the middle of the day, and people are just
Hmm.
out. They can go to these things. But that's what makes it so inspiring, is the hustle and the unique ways that people in Atlanta kind of take advantage, and the community. I always see it even within our music and with our creative scene, how artists support other artists, how certain collaborations come about in Atlanta so effortlessly and so seamless. Those are the things that, again, inspired me to create this studio. I grew up, and as a photographer, in certain, studio sessions where you might see Metro Boomin and Future working together. I've been in sessions where I've seen Young Thug and the Migos and Rich Homie Quan all in one room collaborating together. And
Mm.
that was inspiring to me, to see how people can put the business and the ego aside at times and just create effortlessly. And that was kind of what we wanted to bring within what we do at Cam Kirk Studios.
Mm.
For the first 3 years, and even now, we offer free studio time. Like,
Hmm.
we wanted to completely eliminate any barriers that stopped you from being able to create, or
Yeah.
stop you from being able to express yourself. And that's what the community here is all about. It's about creating and expressing ourselves. And, the success of my studio is an example of it. And it's inspiring. Every day I go over to my studio side and I just sit and watch people create, and it's inspiring.
The more I learned about you, that is the most fascinating thing, I think, is that because, you know, especially in communities and places that I come from, there's not many of those things that exist, where, like, I'm just going to throw out an example where maybe I got this idea, or there's this opportunity with a PayPal or some other business where I got to create a 4-minute short video, and I got my friends who want to be actors, and I got an idea in my head, you know, if I don't have the resources and I don't own the cameras or the lights or any of those things, that opportunity and that dream in my head might just disappear.
Yeah.
It might just dissipate, and think about the countless amount of dreams that dissipate into the thin air because of that. But it, to have a Cam Kirk studio there that I can access and I can just do this and then walk out, almost like I'm stepping into a studio session, that, you know, I don't know. I don't know if I'm expressing how
Nah,
amazing
yeah,
that is, but
yeah,
it's amazing because it's so rare.
yeah.
I just want to applaud you on that, man. It's
Thank
amazing.
you, thank you. Again, it was inspired by my career. I used to go to
Yeah.
these big studios, and I would be overwhelmed because some of the other model for a photo studio is kind of like you rent this big seamless wall space or
Hmm.
this psych wall, and you're kind of just in there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out how to set your world and do all this. The ones that just make that more seamless and more straightforward. You know what I mean? So our studio setup is much more like a easy use studio space, and it also comes with a photography assistant. So every appointment we have, we provide you a photography assistant. So you're not in it by yourself at
Yeah.
all. We walk you through it, and we actually are invested in making sure that you get the most out of your
Amazing.
hour here. And other spaces aren't like that. Not to knock them. Other
Yeah.
spaces are meant for
Yeah. Yeah.
different skill sets and different levels. But for us, it's like we want to make sure that the beginning photographer can still get the most out of their hour here, and that's important.
And you're teaching workshops and having
Yeah.
classes, right? For those that
Yep.
don't even know what they want to do yet, to
Yep.
even just get their toe in the water. Can you tell me about the neighborhood market?
Yeah, so the neighborhood market is a new venture we started here at Cam Kirk Studios, but it's an extension of the work we do here.
Hmm.
Again, I'm just inspired by seeing so many different entrepreneurs create out of our space. One of the things we saw was so many brand owners and product makers and people just creating things, and they would come to the studio to shoot their product shots or their lookbook. And
Hmm.
we were just thinking like, wow, it'd be great if we had a platform that can bring everybody together on one, and everyone from our community can kind of shop on one platform, similar to like an Amazon or a Grailed, where you can literally support and invest money back into buying product
That's
from
so.
entrepreneurs from your neighborhood.
You got a
And
fan
that's
right
where the
here.
neighborhood market started.
Can you see it right there? Camera, man cash. I love the neighborhood market. You
Oh
got a
yeah,
fan
yeah,
right
yeah.
there.
Thank you, thank you.
Um, well, I want to be respectful of your time, everyone's time here. I know 20, 30 minutes here on IG on live, it can feel like a million minutes. But any advice before we get out of here? Any advice? I got a two-part question. What's your future look like, especially now that things are continuing to extend in the
Hmm.
lockdown? Um, and any advice for young entrepreneurs? I mean, it must be hard. It's hard enough starting as an entrepreneur, but starting right, I can't even imagine what it's like starting right now, as an entrepreneur. So, any advice that you may have?
Yeah, so thankful for like PayPal and the grant that they gave me. It definitely allowed me to much easier transition and keep our doors open. I mean,
Hmm.
the grant alone allowed me to keep my staff on payroll. I never had to lay anyone off during the pandemic. I was able to keep up with payroll, keep
Hmm.
up with rent and things of that nature. So now that we have been in a certain sense stable, we don't know what the future holds for us in terms of this pandemic.
Yeah.
The next step for us is just to continue to strengthen our resources to be able to make sure that we can now help 10 to 20, maybe 1,000 other creatives continue to do what they're doing and continue make sure that they're okay to be afloat moving forward. And our whole plan for Cam Kirk Studios and myself, just as a business owner, is to bring this same energy in this same company model, worldwide and to different cities. We feel like there are other places around the world that need a community space. They need this vibe. They need
Yes.
someone that's going to believe in their crazy dreams and ideas, and they need it from a genuine standpoint. And we're hoping that we can kind of bring that to more people. We're hoping that we can transition our brand to be more accessible online as well, where some of our workshops you can kind of interact with us even if you're not in Atlanta. So we're working on things of that nature, and that would definitely allow us to maintain through any type of continual shutdown, or if the pandemic was to continue. But the biggest advice I can give to other entrepreneurs or business owners is number one, just take the shot, man. You know what I mean? I took a shot with PayPal, this PayPal grant, it paid off. Never think that, you're in this by yourself, because you're not. We're
Yeah.
all going through the same thing. Find other people and find ways to stay encouraged and keep it going. And at the same time, the best advice I can give to you is to make sure your business and your affairs are in order so you can set yourself up to actually receive support. You don't want to be cutting corners or doing things, not by the book. Do things the right way so that things can pay off for you in the long run. Because this is a marathon, it's definitely not a sprint. And we all want to be here forever. But in order to be here forever, we have to follow things by the book and not skip no steps.
Well, I want to say thank you, Cam. I could talk to you forever, man. If when I'm out in Atlanta, hopefully I can come by the studios, check you out.
Please do. Please
Um,
do, man.
Everyone seems to appreciate everything you're saying, and I'm gonna end it with you on a comment I read as you were talking. Cam Kirk is the future.
Man,
So thank you,
that's a
man.
blessing.
I'm gonna log off with you right here. Okay, peace.
All right. Thank you, boss.
All right.